we've finally built all of the ingredients we need to describe the market, and therefore the competitive equilibrium. We now know where the market demand curve comes from, we know where the market supply comes from, and so we know how to find the competitive equilibrium. Given the competitive equilibrium, we can figure out what the impact of the competitive equilibrium is going to be on an individual firm. Remember, the individual firm supply doesn't have to be exactly the market supply. We add up all the individual firm supply to get the market supply. So let's suppose S1 were firm 1's supply curve. And let's say the price of this good in this market in equilibrium is P. So we can look at the price P and figure out what is happening with firm 1. Well, from the pictures we had drawn earlier, graphically, we can figure out what the profit of this firm is going to be. The firm is going to choose the quantity where the marginal cost is equal to the price. So their revenue is going to be the area of this rectangle. It's price times quantity. What does it cost to produce these Q units? The average cost is this much. This is the average cost. So the total cost is quantity times average cost. So quantity times average cost. So it's this area here. So if we subtract the cost from the revenue, which is the area of the larger rectangle, we're left with this area right here, which I've labeled B. So the firm's profit is going to be this area B. In this particular instance, the firm is making a positive profit because the price is higher than the lowest average cost. Now let's suppose there's something that happens in this market causing the demand curve in the market to shift leftwards. So we go from D1 to D2. This is going to cause a decrease in the market price from this price P to P prime. Notice, however, that while P was above the lowest average cost, P prime is below the lowest average cost. However, it's still above the lowest average variable cost. So this firm, as we know, should still stay in business. However, it's going to run a loss. What's the quantity that it's going to produce? The supply curve, remember, corresponds to its marginal cost. So it's going to pick, at this price, it's going to pick the quantity Q1. So that's the average cost. So the firm is making a loss of this much. So the firm makes, even though it covers its variable cost, it makes a loss. But because it's covering its variable cost, it should stay in business. So that's what happens in the short run. Even though a firm makes a loss, because it's covering its variable cost, it should stay in business. So a firm may or may not make a positive profit in the short run.